My name is Evalyse. I'm 19 years old and I'm currently at UCLA.
Awesome. What are some of your favorite hobbies?
I have been obsessed with surfing this past summer. Growing up in San Diego, obviously, kind of a given. Recently got into rock climbing, and I've always been a big reader, especially of fantasy novels.
What are some of your top accomplishments?
Oh man, I think obviously graduating high school with like honors. I worked so hard for that. I received the AP Environmental Science with We Award, which essentially just means that I did a bunch of community service for like climate justice in relation to a class I was taking in high school. That meant a lot to me because my passion is climate justice. So receiving that award was a big honor. Getting into UCLA, I used to tell my parents that I would never get in here. Um, and then I did. And I wasn't even gonna apply. My dad told me that he was like, you should just give it a shot. I said, I'm not gonna make it. It's a waste of your money. And he said, just do it. And I did, and now I'm here, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Alrighty, what is your definition of success?
Success is such a hard thing to quantify. I think it means a lot of different things to everyone. Um, for me, as long as I'm happy doing what I'm doing, I'm happy learning what I'm learning, and I am trying my absolute hardest, and I'm satisfied with my work, and I know I've done my best, I would consider that a success.
Who has inspired you the most in your life?
It's cliche, but like my mom, she came from such a rough upbringing and gave me and my siblings just the most incredible, fortunate life. And she came from nothing, and she never once like complained about that. She's the most hardworking woman I've ever met. She was a paralegal and then was a stay-at-home mom and then became a nurse. She went to nursing school when she was like in her late 30s, which is so incredibly hard to do when you have three kids. So definitely her.
What makes you the most happy?
Being outside. Being outside is like the best way I like release my stress and just get away from the world for a little bit where there's no service. I can't read my emails. Definitely getting outside, and especially being outside with people. I'm like a camp counselor over the summer, and sharing the outdoors with like the youth of the next generation is always it's such an endearing moment, and it makes me so happy to like share that experience with others.
What are some of your short term and long term goals?
Right now, definitely getting more involved with my community here on campus. UCLA is huge. There's so many different clubs, um, which is awesome, but it also is a little overwhelming. So definitely being involved more, um, just working more. I have a job here with the police station, so trying to get like higher up there. Um, I guess it is sort of like midterm, not short or long term. But like in the next 2 years, I'm hoping to apply for the PhD program here in geography. So I've started like meeting with my TAs who are part of the PhD program, talking to professors, trying to figure out where I want to go with that. Because the program here at UCLA is one of the tops in the nation. Long term, I definitely want to work in climate advocacy, and not just climate advocacy, but also social justice. I'm a big believer that all different types of activism intersect, and so my passions lie in climate and social justice and protecting those frontline communities of people who, aren't the biggest contributors to climate change, but end up feeling the worst impacts of it. You see third world countries that are islands getting totally washed out, and they're not the ones contributing the most to climate change. So definitely just like pursuing a career in that um, is really important to me long term. And like, buying my parents a nice house in La Jolla one day so they can retire.
So, what advice would you give to someone that was in a similar position that, you were kind of debating whether or not to apply to UCLA? What kind of advice would you give someone that was in that same situation?
You never know, which is kind of cliche, but genuinely, you never know whether you'll get into a school or not if you don't try. Um, I didn't apply to any of the Ivy Leagues, and I still wonder to this day, like, I wonder if I would have gotten in, you know? So you never know. There's so many different kinds of people here at UCLA alone. I imagine that's like a lot of other universities. Um, so you never know. Like, if you're just passionate about what it is you're trying to pursue in college and you're genuine in your applications about like who you are as a human being, it's definitely worth a shot.
Awesome. What are some of your things that you're involved on campus at UCLA?
So right now, the biggest thing I'm part of is UCLA's Uni Camp, which is a nonprofit. It's UCLA's official charity, and we take underrepresented and low income and foster youth from the greater LA area up to summer camp. And I'm a volunteer. I help fundraise for the organization, and we get a lot of kids who are in frontline communities outdoors, just, sort of trying to give them a nice summer. And we help subsidize the cost through fundraising. And it's a really passionate org that I'm part of. And it's sort of part of my mission to make the outdoors more accessible to people.
Who motivates you in life?
My siblings. I'm the oldest sister of two younger siblings. My sister just turned 18 and is going to UCSD. My brother just turned 12. Was actually turning 13 this month, which is so heartbreaking because he's a little baby. But they are the absolute reason I do anything and everything in life. Just sort of trying to lead the way and be a good role model for them.